That night, Yemi drove to Kemi's place. When she got there, she felt numb, empty. She knocked frantically, her hands shaking. Kemi swung the door open almost immediately, her face tight with worry. What happened? Kemi's voice was quiet. Yemi froze. Kemi grabbed her wrist and pulled her inside, shutting the door. Talk to me, Yemi, she pressed. But Yemi couldn't speak. I went to visit Tunde's father, Chief Adetayo. He told me everything, Yemi said. She sank onto the couch, her breathing shallow. I don't know what to do, she whispered. Kemi sat beside her, watching her carefully. You do know what to do, but you're scared. Yemi buried her face in her hands. I can't marry him, Kemi. I have to call it off. Kemi exhaled. Then do it. Yemi lifted her head. Just like that? Kemi nodded. Just like that. For the first time in hours, Yemi felt a flicker of relief. Yes, she would end this. She would walk away. But then, her phone rang. Yemi stiffened. Kemi leaned forward. Who is it? Yemi turned the phone slowly. Lady Morayo. A heavy silence filled the room. Kemi's expression darkened. Don't pick up. Yemi swallowed hard. But something inside her knew. If she ignored it, Morayo wouldn't stop. So she took a shaky breath and answered. Hello? At first silence. Then a soft chuckle. Ah, my dear Yemi. I was just thinking about you. Yemi clenched her jaw. I don't want to talk to you. Morayo sighed. I know, darling. But we must. Kemi scooted closer, listening. Yemi's hands were clammy. Morayo's voice remained smooth, too calm. I imagine you've made a decision overnight, that you're thinking of canceling the wedding. Yemi's stomach tightened. How does she always know? She opened her mouth, but Morayo kept going. That would be a mistake, Yemi. Yemi shut her eyes. I don't care what you say. I'm not marrying Tunde. Whatever is going on between you two. Shh. Morayo's tone was soft, but firm, a warning. Then she dropped her voice to a whisper. If you walk away, I will expose your father's biggest secret, the one he has worked so hard to bury. Yemi's breath caught. Her fingers went numb around the phone. Morayo let the silence stretch. Then she chuckled lightly. You and I both know, darling. It would ruin him. The line went dead. Yemi just sat there, frozen. Kemi grabbed her shoulders. What did she say? Yemi's lips parted, but no words came out. Because she knew. Morayo wasn't bluffing. She had the power to destroy her father. And now, she had Yemi right where she wanted her. Yemi sat in silence, gripping the phone so tightly her knuckles turned white. Kemi stared at her, eyes full of worry. Yemi, talk to me. What did she say? Yemi opened her mouth, but the words stuck to her throat. Morayo's voice still echoed in her head. If you walk away, I will expose your father's biggest secret. It would ruin him. Yemi's stomach twisted. This wasn't just about her anymore. It wasn't just about what she saw. Morayo had something dangerous on her father, something powerful enough to destroy his reputation, his entire career. Kemi's voice softened. Yemi? Yemi exhaled shakily and looked at her best friend. She threatened me. Kemi's eyes flashed. Of course she did. What did she say? Yemi hesitated, then whispered. She said if I cancel the wedding, she'll expose my father's biggest secret. Kemi's expression darkened. Then, without warning, she shot up from the couch and grabbed her phone. We're calling your dad. Right now. Yemi's heart lurched. No. Kemi frowned. Yemi, listen to me. Whatever she has on him, he needs to know. You cannot marry Tunde just to protect a secret you don't even know. Yemi shook her head violently. No, Kemi. You don't understand. If my father's reputation is ruined, it won't just affect him. It'll destroy my entire family. Kemi folded her arms. And what about you? What about your life, Yemi? Are you seriously going to marry into this madness? Tears burned Yemi's eyes. I don't know what to do. Kemi sat back down, gripping her hands. Okay, let's think. She took a deep breath. What exactly do you know about your father's past? Any scandals? Secrets? Yemi wiped her face. Nothing. He's always been careful, respected. Everyone admires him. Kemi nodded. Then we need to find out what she has on him. Yemi tensed. How? Kemi's lips pressed into a thin line. We go to the source. Yemi's stomach dropped. No. Kemi met her gaze. Yemi, we need answers, and I don't think your dad will tell you the truth, but Morayo will. A chill ran down Yemi's spine. The thought of facing her again. But Kemi was right. If she was going to fight this, she needed to know what she was up against. Yemi inhaled deeply, steeling herself. Fine, we'll go see her. But deep down, something told her. This was a dangerous game, and Morel always played to win. Yemi sat in the passenger seat, staring blankly out the window as Kemi drove through the quiet streets of Ikoi, her stomach twisted into tight knots. This was a mistake, a huge mistake. Kemi, on the other hand, looked determined, gripping the steering wheel like she was heading into battle. If we're doing this, we have to be smart, she said, her voice firm. No emotions, no fear. We let her talk and we listen. Yemi swallowed hard. And if she doesn't tell us anything? Kemi's lips curled into a smirk. Oh, she will. We just have to push the right buttons. Yemi exhaled shakily. She wished she had Kemi's confidence, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was walking into a trap. Minutes later, they pulled up to the Adetayo estate. The mansion loomed over them, its towering gates locked shut. A guard stepped forward, peering into the car. Who are you here to see? Yemi hesitated. Kemi, unfazed, leaned forward. Lady Morayo, she's expecting us. The guard glanced at Yemi, his face unreadable. Then after a moment, he nodded and opened the gates. Yemi's pulse quickened as they drove inside. This was really happening. The house felt too quiet as they stepped inside. A maid led them into a lavish sitting room where Morayo sat gracefully on an antique couch, dressed in a deep blue kaftan, sipping tea like a queen receiving guests. She looked up and smiled. Ah, Yemi and Kemi, isn't it? Kemi folded her arms. You already know who I am. Morayo chuckled, setting down a teacup. Of course I do. Please sit. Yemi hesitated but finally lowered herself into a chair. Kemi remained standing. Morayo's gaze flickered between them, amused. So to what do I owe this visit? Yemi forced herself to meet her future mother-in-law's eyes. You know why we're here. Morayo tilted her head. Do I? Yemi's hands clenched into fists. I need to know what you have on my father. Morayo sighed, shaking her head. Oh, Yemi, always so impatient. Yemi's heart pounded. If you expect me to go through with this wedding, I deserve to know why. Morayo studied her for a long moment. Then she leaned back with a small smile. You don't need to worry about why. You only need to understand that canceling this wedding is not an option. Yemi's stomach twisted. Kemi scoffed. So that's it? Just threats and no explanations? Morayo's eyes gleamed. You see, Kemi, true power is not in telling people what you have. It's in making them fear what they don't know. Yemi's breath itched. That was it. That was why Morayo refused to say anything, because not knowing was worse, because the unknown made her weak. Kemi took a step closer. You might control Yemi, but you don't control me. Whatever this secret is, I will find it. Morayo's expression darkened. For the first time, a flicker of warning passed through her eyes. Then just as quickly she smiled again. I admire your boldness, Kemi, but be careful. Some truths are better left buried. Yemi felt ice crawl up her spine. Kemi grabbed Yemi's hand, pulling her up. "We're done here." Morayo watched them with a knowing smile as they left. But Yemi could still feel her gaze burning into her back. As soon as they got into the car, Yemi let out a shaky breath. Kemi turned the key in the ignition. "She's hiding something big, Yemi." Yemi nodded. "I know." And now, more than ever, she needed to find out what.